Hey there, it's Leona. Welcome to Zen Mindfulness Shodo. Today, we're gonna practice Shodo meditation while focusing on the Hiragana character for so. So, let's begin our beautiful journey together. When you write a character, imagine a square about the size of the character that you are gonna write like this. First, I'm gonna write it. Then I'm gonna explain the points and tips for writing the character beautifully in detail. I will now explain in detail. The starting point is a little bit to the right of the center point of the top left square, or slightly higher than that. This line may appear to curve downward, but actually, the curve is like this. It might not be very visible because it's a bit pointed here, but it's something like this. Writing with this kind of line can better express the unique curved beauty of hiragana. As for how far to move the brush, you move it to the right until the middle vertical line is in the middle of the stroke. Then the stroke stops there for a second, and this time, it moves downward to the left, and gradually getting thinner, until a point slightly to the left of the middle of the left half of the middle horizontal line. This line scoops downward to the left while curving down. Then, after another slight pause, it moves upward to the right, while curving downward at an angle that appears parallel to the first top horizontal line. It moves to the right until the middle vertical line is in the middle of the stroke. Lightly stop here for a second again. And this time, instead of going down like this, you trace the line you just wrote slightly to the left, to about directly below the turning point, before the stroke moves downward to the left. This time, the stroke moves downward to the left, while curving to the left, heading towards the middle vertical line. Then it turns at the middle vertical line, and moves downward to the right, until a point directly under the first turning point, somewhere around there. In terms of line thickness, if you add variation in thickness, the entire character will appear more soft and curvy and three-dimensional than when it's written with the same thickness, all the way from the beginning point to the end point like this. For example, if I change the thickness of the line, it'll look like this. Can you see that? I added slight variations in thickness, but it might not be very visible because it's small. The first top part gets a bit thinner in the middle. And as it gets to here, since it scoops downward to the left, in a sweeping motion, it gradually gets thinner as it goes down and to the left. Then it gets thick here again, when it stops for a second. And this time it goes upward to the right, parallel to the top horizontal part, with the same pen pressure. Then it gets thick again where it traces. But the line itself gradually gets thinner. Around this part becomes the thinnest. Then as it turns, you increase the pen pressure again, and the stroke gets thicker as it moves downward to the right. So if you can write with a line that gradually gets thinner, and then gradually gets thicker, you can better express the unique curved beauty of hiragana, and the whole character appears more beautiful. It's important for these horizontal parts to look parallel. For example, if it's not parallel to the top horizontal line, like this. Or if the upward angle of the bottom horizontal part is too steep and not parallel to the top horizontal line like this. And not parallel to the top horizontal line like this. The overall balance of the character doesn't look good. It also loses stability. So if you're careful to write these horizontal lines parallel, it will be easier to achieve balance. If you can write so that the space below the ending point and the space above the highest turning point are about the same size, the character "so" will be positioned right in the center of the square box, giving it good balance and a neat appearance. How about trying to practice keeping these points and tips in mind? The key points for writing hiragana characters, as explained in the video, are concisely summarized in this book in a similar manner. The book allows you 3 pages to practice each character. It can be purchased on Amazon. See the link in the description. I'm gonna practice 1 page of this workbook this time, but you're welcome to practice as much as you want. If you're practicing with a pen, I recommend that you place a few pieces of paper under the page that you're writing on, so that the ink doesn't bleed onto the page under it. Alright, let's get started.